I got one more verse to read to you. Galatians chapter 5, verse 1. Here's what Paul wrote to the Galatians. And by the way, what's going on in the book of Galatians is, here were people who were Christians, set free by believing in Jesus. And some other people came along and preached to them that you need to observe the Old Testament law. And again, along with that come all those animal sacrifices. I don't know if they were doing that or not, but they started believing that they could perfect their salvation by observing the Old Testament law. And Paul is writing to them, warning them not to adopt that mindset. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 says, "Stand fast therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free." Again, Jesus said, "You'll know the truth, and the truth will make you free. The Son sets you free, you'll be free indeed." Stand fast, Paul says. In other words, stand your ground in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free. Be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Behold, I, Paul, say to you that if you be circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing. That was a commandment of the law for males to be part of the covenant. We're exempt from those liabilities and obligations now. Isn't that what the word free, we said it means? Behold, I, Paul, say to you that if you be circumcised, Christ shall profit you nothing. Now you could put in there any other requirement of the law. It would mean the same thing. In other words, Christ is no profit to you if you're going to be made right with God by something you do. Verse 3. For I testify again to every man that is circumcised, or every person that chooses performance, let's put it that way, that he is a debtor to do the whole law. Verse 4. Christ is become of no effect unto you, whosoever of you are justified by the law, you are fallen from grace. I've had people ask me before, because I talk about being secure in the love of God, don't you believe you can fall from grace? And here he says, yeah, if you're going to choose to be justified by what you do, then you're not in a position of grace anymore. So he's saying, don't do that. Excuse me. For we through the Spirit wait for the hope of righteousness by faith. For in Jesus Christ neither circumcision avails anything, nor uncircumcision, but here's what does. Faith that works by love. Now that's pretty good in the King James, and I think we get the idea. Let's read it from the Message now. Go back to verse 1. I really like the way the Message says this. Christ has set us free to live a free life. That's good, isn't it? So take your stand. Never again let anyone put a harness of slavery on you. That's a good thought, isn't it? Okay, verse 2. I am emphatic about this. The moment any one of you submits to circumcision or any other rule-keeping system, you see, it's the same thing. At that moment, Christ's hard-won gift of freedom is squandered. Verse 3. I repeat my warning. The person who accepts the ways of circumcision trades all the advantages of the free life in Christ for the obligations of a slave life of the law. Go ahead. I suspect you would never intend this, but this is what happens. When you attempt to live by your own religious plans and projects, you're cut off from Christ. You fall out of grace. Let's get another one. Meanwhile, we expectantly wait for a satisfying relationship with the Spirit. And verse 6. For in Christ neither our most conscientious religion or disregard of religion amounts to anything. What matters, listen to this, is far more interior. That means on the inside. What matters is something on the inside. And what is it? Faith, expressed in love. It says this matters way more than all these external things that everybody can see. Faith, that means faith in Christ. Expressed, how do we express it? By living a life of love. That means by me caring about and loving you more than myself. It means the kind of love that God has for us, a self-sacrificing kind of love. What really matters is what's going on the inside, and that being expressed, that on the inside being expressed on the outside. Okay, that's all I got today. Let's all stand up.
Jesus is my